If I were black people today and I walked by one of those statues, I would be so proud because I'd say, look how far I have come in this country. Look how far my people have, what they have overcome.
Hate's not good, but I mean, she pushes my buttons. It gets me close to hate land. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not only the worst person, but also the stupidest person. It's a terrible combo, but we see it more and more often these days, especially in those elected to lead us. Which, I mean, do your own calculations on the intelligence of the people who keep electing people like that. I mean, she was reelected recently, so keep that in your brain. Let's break down this very short clip before moving on to another from this same rant, but let's play it again.
If I were black people today...
If I were black people today, she can't even see black people as individuals. She only sees them as a group to talk about or marginalize or make decisions on their behalf without consulting them. If I were a black person would be the way you'd phrase that if you had any empathy, but instead you say if I were black people. If I were that group that I don't care about or want to individualize at all or realize are individual people with feelings, I'd be proud that there was a statue. Let's let her continue.
I would be so proud because I'd say, look how far I have come in this country. Look how far my people have, what they have overcome.
I would look up at the statue of the oppressors that own my people and say, I'm so proud of us. Even if some people, obviously, out of a sense of pride, would feel proud that their people overcame that, that doesn't mean you want to see the oppressor honored and commemorated in a statue every time you walk to the corner or walk to the store or try to live your life and forget about the horrors of the past. Would a Jewish person be happy to see a Hitler statue and say, oh, I'm so proud that not all of us died in the Holocaust. So that's great. What a wonderful reminder. Thanks, Town Square. What a fun vibe to experience while walking to the mall. This person has no brain cells.
I gotta tell you, anybody's unemployment has to do with bad choices and personal responsibility.
Okay, let's stop it right there. That's the stupidest statement possible. Anyone's unemployment has to do with bad choices? What about when companies lay people off and then it's hard to find a new job? How about when these companies that keep recording record profits for themselves, not sharing it with their workers, and instead lay off the workforce to keep their budget a little bit more lean during hard times? And that person now is in a market where there's not a lot of jobs available. That's their fault. How? They did a perfect job. It's their fault. How? Marjorie Taylor non-genius? In what planet do you exist where your thoughts make sense? Not Earth. It can't be Earth.
And again, that does not have a skin color. I know a ton of white people that are as lazy and sorry and probably worse than black people I know. And I would not hire them.
You know she was about to say, probably worse than black people. I know some white people that are worse than all black people. That's what she was trying to say and caught herself. She instead adds, black people I know. I know some white people that are worse than black people I know. Why don't you meet some better black people then, some nicer black people? Do you just seek out black people to use as anecdotes in your hateful speeches? Every race has good people and bad people and lazy people and hardworking people. That does not mean that somebody not having a job doesn't have other factors sometimes that are beyond personal responsibility and bad choices. If you don't understand that genuinely, you need to just look at the reality on the ground, talk to your constituents for once, instead of being stuck to your talking points in hopes that the orange monster chooses you as his vice orange monster in the 2024 campaign.
Marjorie Taylor Greene telling anyone she doesn't consider them an expert on anything should be seen as an honor that rivals boxing championships, Olympic gold medals, and God saying, job well done.
Gabe, I do not consider you an expert on this issue. As a matter of fact, I consider you a major problem.
Here's the ridiculousness that we have to deal with and live with.
Trump won Georgia. I know you don't like for me to say that, but I am convinced that he did. I'm born and raised in Georgia, lived there all my life, campaigned all over the state in the 2020 election. And to come in here for the Election Integrity Caucus and for you to be on the panel, it's actually insulting to election integrity because I think you did a horrific job for the state of Georgia. And I can't believe that our tax dollars have to pay you to run our election system.
In 2020, in Georgia, the same election that she's telling this expert, he's not an expert about, that she's saying was stolen for Donald Trump, also had her as a candidate. So is she saying that we have the right to question her legitimacy as a congressperson because on 2020, if the election was stolen, shouldn't that bring into question her election? No, it doesn't, because Her job is not about legitimacy. Her job is not about integrity. Her job is about grifting. Not just any grifting, the grifting that says we will do and say anything to rile up the base, whether we believe it or not.
And then we have the whole catastrophe of suitcases coming out from under the table, videos of them re-scanning stacks of ballots. All of this went on, but the Secretary of State's office said, oh, flawless election in the state of Georgia in 2020. And it's not. I'm sorry, it's not. And I hate to tell you, but there are many Georgians, and I'm one of them, that have no faith in our election system in Georgia. And I'm still upset about it. So the fact that I get to come in here for Election Integrity Caucus, thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you, Claudia, but I don't find any election integrity here.
It's not just her. It's Trump, it's Fox, and it's so many other Republicans that sit idle while Marjorie Taylor shows up in this manner. If you don't believe me, think about this. Here's a person who never sits through a committee meeting. She only shows up with her minions to record her talking, which is just content creation for Twitter, for the base, the Trump base, the conservative base, the Republican Party, and then she leaves.
Just an innocent white woman, everybody.
She records a video for Twitter, she leaves. She posts a video, she becomes a patriot. They love it, it's red meat. The problem is, it's not governing. It's not governing. And it's also turn away at the fabric of this country's democracy. And people allow it to be the normal. What say you, America? Is this the democracy you've always wanted?
There was blatant outright fraud in the 2020 election. Complete and total fraud, you know it. You absolutely do know it.
If not, do something about it.